Nashville snow on my Texas hat. I'm still down with the blues.
Hello and welcome. My name is Esmey Leon and you are watching Local Indie Live. And today we have the pleasure of listening to Marshall Falcon and the Midnight Bazaar. So thank you guys so much for being with us. Gentlemen, can you please introduce yourselves, and everyone's dying to know a little bit more about your style. What was the inspiration? Where did it come from?
My name is Marshall Falcon. It's 2 L's on Marshall. Falcon, like caca, caca. Our musical style is kind of determined by other folks. You know, they have called us Cosmic Tex-Mex or Border Rock, or the other one I hear is Country Soul. I've heard that before. So we say barn burners, tear jerkers, and toe tappers. That's kind of our thing. But some of us are from Texas. Some of us are from Mexico and different parts of the country. So there's a lot of Tex-Mex kind of vibe going on in what we do. You know, I grew up listening to, up until I was 6 years old, I didn't even speak English. And my parents, all they played was, you know, Vicente Fernandez and, you know, all the música norteña and all that stuff. And I had no interest in it because, you know, that was my parents' music. But I went down to Corpus a few years ago during COVID to help my mom out. Man, I heard the accordion everywhere. And like before I would hear the accordion and be like, ugh. But now I heard it and I was like, it's touched my soul. So I was like, how can we like bring that into a musical project that's a little bit different than what's out there? So
I'm surprised to hear that it was just since COVID that you felt the
yeah. I mean, like I said, I went back down there, and so I got to spend a lot of time away from Oregon, where there's not very many accordion players. And then you go down there to, you know, South Texas, and there's just the accordions everywhere. And like I said, something about it spoke to me, you know, and I was like, man, I really want to do a different kind of project. And I come from a background of doing hip hop and punk rock music. And so I've done a little bit of everything, but this was kind of a challenge for me to break out and try something new. Yeah.
Well, your instinct was amazing, because that was awesome. I know we have Esteban.
Yes. My name is Esteban Jordan III, and I'm the son of a legendary musician by the name of Esteban Jordan, known as El Parche, and very famous icon in the music business, and influenced the music industry since the early '60s. I'm from Texas originally. I'm from South Texas, and I have a background in all types of genres of music. My father influenced music on me early on in my 20s, and you know, he passed away in 2010, and I continued his legacy with my brothers after his passing as Rio Jordan. You know, of course, me, you know, as Esteban Jordan, y su Rio Jordan, and you know, I continue on. I have the opportunity to play with people like, you know, Marshall Falcon, Midnight Bazaar, and it's exciting stuff. Isn't working con el maestro Blas Coral. You know, desde Durango, Mexico. It's an honor. You know, somebody that knows the accordion, you know, as well as like my father did. It's really an honor to work with people like these guys, and I'm excited.
Amazing. So before you were 20, did you have no interest in music?
I picked up music and you know, like everybody else in middle school and high school. And I did some marching band and stuff like that growing up. But I didn't pick up music seriously until my mother said, "Hey, ya no los aguanto. And, you're going to have to take on, Esteban, Ricardo, my other brother. And then my dad's like, okay, well, who wants to play bass, who wants to play guitar, and I'll teach y'all. And
Wow.
My father taught me and my brother in 3 weeks how to play professional without learning bass and guitar.
Wow.
And then, we backed him up in the early 2000s, and we kind of backed him up until he passed in 2010, and still doing it since.
Yeah.
Releasing music on his behalf. And it's exciting to be able to continue and represent the genre out here in the Pacific Northwest, the Tejano industry and stuff like that. And saludos, everybody out there that's watching back in Texas.
Yeah.
We're out here making it happen.
That sounds really fulfilling.
Oh, yeah.
To be able to
It's a lot of
continue
work.
the legacy.
It's a lot of work, but, it's just things that we love doing. And, like I said, I'm fortunate to have grand musicians around me to be able to do this type of work.
That's great.
So.
¿Y Blas?
Oh, mire, mi nombre es Blas Corral. Soy de Durango, México. Soy Corral, pero no de vacas ni nada.
Sí.
Corral Arce Aguilar, mi nombre, ¿verdad? Y yo vengo de una familia que de parte de mi mamá, toda la familia, puro músico. Todos tocaban un instrumento. Y de parte de mi papá, pues nomás mi papá
Yeah.
tocaba guitarra.
Qué
Y
bonito.
yo aprendí a tocar acordeón ahí taloneando y ahí, así,
Desde chico.
de chiquito, pues ya no muy chiquito, ya como a los 15 años
Yeah.
empecé yo.
No, todavía es bebé.
¿Verdad?
Ya, los de 15 años todavía están chiquititos, ¿verdad? Pero,
Todavía estaba en los
Yeah.
15 ahí.
wow.
Ah.
Y no, pues ahí andamos aquí con Marshall y Esteban y Tracy.
Yeah.
Y un saludo acá para todos los de Texas, para todos de Durango y todos los que nos escuchan por allá para Los Ángeles, California.
California.
Yeah. Toda la
familia que tengo ahí.
Califas.
Yeah.
California.
Ya.
Sí.
Estaba diciendo, yo viví en Los Ángeles por unos años y estoy muy triste que no los conocía porque me hubiera encantado verlos allá.
No, pues sí,
¿verdad?
pues,
Pero
desde
los
Los
veo aquí en Oregon.
Aquí andamos en
Yeah.
Oregon.
Yeah.
Y pues,
Vamos.
ahí andamos para arriba y para abajo.
Por
Yeah.
todos lados.
Para todos lados.
Yeah. ¿Y cómo se dice jealous en español?
Celoso.
Celoso.
Sí, estoy yo muy celosa de que no crecí como tú con tanto ambiente en familia,
Sí.
con músicos. Es muy
Toda la
afortunado.
familia, toda la familia
Yeah.
de mi mamá, pues, todos eran músicos.
Qué bonito. Pues gracias por estar con nosotros.
No, pues muchas gracias a ustedes que
Gracias.
nos
Yeah.
dejaron un ratito aquí.
Yeah. And last but not least,
I'm Trey
Yeah.
Longstreth. I'm from Kansas City, basically. My father was a jazz musician in Kansas City, pretty well known. Died several years back. I've been out on the West Coast since the late 70s. Started playing in bands in like about 78, 79, and I've been in over 100 bands over
Wow.
the years. And so I'm a local can-do guy. I play bass for these guys usually, and today was a nice opportunity for me to play some guitar.
yeah.
As a bass player, they usually make me play bass, but it was cool. It was fun.
Oh, yeah.
Mix it up a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm having a good time playing this kind of music. Just play what I hear, play what I feel.
And I'm super stoked with these musicians. We've had a lot of time to play together, and we've been through a lot of ups and downs. And I couldn't be more prouder of the guys that I'm working with now. Like these guys are really great, fantastic musicians, and great people. So that's the most important thing for me is, we got to all get along.
Yeah, that's important.
And Tony, as far as like the music that he's been writing, is a gifted songwriter. That is one thing that is wonderful about all this music. It's all originals, and it's music that that I feel has a lot of value and adds a lot to the culture, cultura ahorita. I think it's very important that we keep shedding light on all this. Even in the educational part of the music, it's very important. To keep influencing the young musicians and people that are coming up that are wanting to be artists and stuff like that. I think that was the one thing that my father influenced on me is how to do it right.
Yeah.
Instead of learning all the wrong ways of doing and learning to be a musician and stuff like that. He really inspired me to learn right, and I think that's we're all on the same page.
Yeah. And you guys work together so well. The word that keeps coming to me is soul.
Yeah.
It felt very soulful. And when you write the songs, what's your process with that? What?
I play almost every instrument that's out there. Drums, bass, and I work at home. I got my recording set up. It'll start maybe with a beat, and then I'll just play guitar and doodle until the riff comes out, and then I might work in different orders. Like the drums may come first, or the bass may come first, or as long as I have a click track, and then and the other musicians come in. I try to keep what I do sort of more sparse to leave them plenty of room to shine, you know, when they have their moments. And then, you know, the songs I write about are, you know, they're about love. They're probably 95% true stories. You know, I write about the immigrant experience, having, you know, being an immigrant myself, and especially now with where things are at, you know. My parents, it was the same thing. They, you know, they picked cotton and they picked tomatoes, and we talked about all that, and just like his dad too, you know, and a lot of people that we know, and you know, I like to let them know that, you know, it's there's hope for all of them, you know.
Yeah, no, I love that, and like you said, things that are important and meaningful. So I love that you wrote something about that. Let's talk about the first song that you guys performed, Nashville Snow. Tell us a little bit more about that.
I think it was about a year and a half ago when I was on tour. It was my first time there. I think it was on a Monday. I say Tuesday in the song, but it was actually snowing. And it was like March or April, so it was like kind of a freak snow. And it was Tuesday, and there was nobody there. Like, nobody wanted to come out because it was snowing. It's just a story about playing those shows as a musician, where if you go out on tour, you know, you go out without a safety net sometimes, and you never know what you're going to end up in. And sometimes you'll end up in a place where you play for the bartender and maybe the sound guy, and that's it. So it's kind of my experience in Nashville. It turned into a decent song. It literally was cranked out kind of the next day after the show. I just woke up and was like, hey, let's write a song about this. And there it is. So, and you know, it's the same kind of thing that a lot of musicians face when they go to Nashville. It's a lot of hard work. There's a lot of competition. There's so many good musicians. It's just difficult to, you know, carve out a path, you know. So, but we just keep working on what we're doing. And that's kind of really the moral of the story in Nashville Snow is no matter what happens, we're just going to keep plugging away.
Yeah, I love that perseverance, right?
Kudos to all my Nashville friends out there working every day.
I got some Nashville snow on my Texas hat. I'm still down with the blues. Dreams still broken and my heart's the same. I can't get next to you. Another long show and another long drive. The mountains seem so wide. Got some Nashville snow on my Texas hat. Still down with the blues. I still won't bother with Broadway. It's way too freaking loud. The bros and the bachelorettes have decided to take on this whole town. You bring the smoke and I'll bring the light. We'll burn the whole place down. Maybe this evening gonna write these songs. Hope to see you around. I got some Nashville snow on my Texas hat. Still down with the blues. Dreams still broken and my heart's the same. I can't get next to you. Another long show and another long drive. The desert seems so wide. I got some Nashville snow on my Texas hat. Still down with the blues. Dale, Blas! Tuesday night at the Cobra. Let me go and set the scene. It's you and me, and the sound makes three, and the drinks are never free. Well, you're in the struggle and you're in the heat. They won't cut you no slack. So I'll rock this show, collect no pay, get the club paid back. I got some Nashville snow on my Texas hat, still down with the blues. Dreams still broken and my heart's the same. Can't get next to you. Another long show and another long flight. The ocean seems so wide. I got some Nashville snow on my Texas hat. I'm still down with the blues. Well, Nashville snow on my Texas hat. I'm still down with the blues.
You've just listened to Nashville Snow. So we definitely want to hear about the next song, Dreaming in Color.
It actually came from a dream. I had a dream about an argument with just a random person, but it was another one of those situations where I woke up and it just goes into the whole idea of the relationship that may not have worked out. You know, sometimes you have an argument with people and sometimes you want to make things work out just badly.
So bad.
and they just, you know,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's just not going to work out.
Yeah.
And it's about, you know, kind of cutting that cord and letting that person go. And all songs about the heart are always, you know, they're tough, you know, for sure.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm sure so many people can relate to that,
Mhm.
letting go, and when something's not meant to be and you just want to hold on. So
Yeah.
thank you for writing a song that people can connect to.
I'm dreaming in color, you're dreaming in red. I'm surfing this sofa while I swim in your head. It's another cold evening, another wet night, but the powder's still plenty dry for us to ignite. Stand as a witness, I kneel as a fool. Your words have a sharp edge, and they're known to be cruel. Well, I've run to the hills now, and I run from the pain. Well, it's breaking my soul, but now I'm here breaking the chains. At the end now, catastrophe pros. We hear 7 angels from the valley below. Well, good luck in the next life, good luck in the past. Well, I hope that the view is nice and you're having a blast. Well, I hope that the view is nice and you're having a blast. Woo!
You've just listened to Dreaming in Color. And the final song, ¿cómo se dice? Las calles del Pocho Loco.
Las calles de Pocho Loco.
Yeah,
Loco.
explain that to
All right,
us.
so Pocho Loco is a fantasy place. It doesn't really exist. I mean, it's part of 2 words. Pocho, meaning like somebody who's lived in el norte all their lives and they go back down south. And then loco, so I'm actually el Pocho loco, but it's also a place.
Yeah.
And
The truth comes out.
Yeah. So el Pocho loco, it's the truth. But it's also a place, and it's an immigrant story as well. You know, it talks about people coming here to make a better way for themselves. And, you know, Pocho Loco is like this mystical, magical place where there's no borders, there's no flags, there's no migra, there's none of that. It's just a free world, you know. You know, it's a fantasy, of course, but, you know, wouldn't it be nice if we had a place where people didn't get in trouble for walking across a line, you know? Like, and so that's kind of where that song's at. The last verse is a letter that, you know, my character in the story is writing to his mother, talking about how it's really hard here and he's having to work hard, but he has neighbors, he has friends, he has these people that look out for him. And that's the way that he survives in this country and in this new world that he comes to. It doesn't necessarily have to be about America or Mexico or Canada or anywhere. Just people go to different places because they're trying to do something better for themselves and their families. And the hope is that when someone arrives, you're willing to embrace them and, you know, like treat them like your brother or somebody that you don't, you know, you may not know that person, but I think you owe it to people that you don't know to treat them well and try to show empathy and mercy for them.
I love that. I want to live in Pocho Loco.
Yeah, Pocho Loco. Tacos on every corner for free.
Tacos every
For
day.
free.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Las calles de Pocho Loco, pavimentado en puro oro, vamos para allá. No hay frontera y no hay reglas, no hay migra y banderas, paz vivirá. Aquí no me cortan navajas y los niños nunca se ahogan, paraíso ahí. En el aire de Pocho Loco voy volando sobre las boyas por libertad. Y todo el dolor que yo siento y todo el miedo en mí. En las calles de Pocho Loco, con familia y muchos amigos, sobreviví. Hola, madre de Pocho Loco, es un día bien hermoso, ahí viene el sol. El trabajo es muy duro, pero el patrón es puro, gracias a Dios. Ahí te echo unos pesos para comprarte un mandado, come muy bien. Los vecinos me ayudan y los hermanos aquí me saludan, gracias por dos. Y todo el dolor que yo siento y todo el miedo en mí. En las calles de Pocho Loco, con familia y muchos amigos, sobreviví. En las calles de Pocho Loco, con familia y muchos amigos, sobreviví.
I feel this is not only for musicians, but anyone that has a dream and that is going towards it. How do you keep going? You know, you've had a full career, and I know there's been moments where you're like, I don't know that I could do this. Is this even right? The doubt comes in. So really quickly, I would love to hear from each of you individually, starting with Trey. What have you done during those moments, and what would you say to someone in any dream that they're following?
Well, when you get discouraged, you just hang on. You just hang on, because the next time you do something that discouraged you, it's not so bad. And you actually turns out better than you thought. And so right before you're ready to throw everything away, you just try it again. And it works out a little better, and you go, what was I worried about?
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I do it.
Pues nomás que le sigan. El chiste es alcanzar el sueño que quieren, ¿verdad? Y seguirle para adelante y para adelante hasta que se hace o se tiene que hacer, ¿verdad? Sí se puede.
Yeah. Sí se puede.
Yeah.
Gracias, Blas.
Y no, pues ahí estamos.
I think for anybody that is on learning music or art or whatever it may be, the most important thing is alegría, doing it with gusto, doing it happy. I think that's the most precious thing in any work that anybody does, is getting true joy out of the work. I think that's what drives me every day forever. That I knew when I got into music and I had a purpose, working around my father, I knew that that's what he kind of turned over to me. Bottom line is you do it because you love it. You do it and you put your joy into it. And I think it goes with anything else in artistry in general. And I think it goes for the same thing in all studies and disciplines.
Yeah.
Con gusto se hace todo. That was a saying that my father always said. And that's something that I do live by daily. So that keeps me going all the time.
I love that. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
It has been tough for me on occasion. Before I even got into this project, I'd already done 3,000 or 4,000 shows as a musician. I traveled everywhere. I got burnt out for a little while. I did step away from it, but it called me back. And I told myself that I'm going to do this as long as I'm having fun. For me, that's the most important thing. And yeah, you got to have passion. You got to have the wherewithal to work hard, and especially if you want to do bigger things, and move to a different level. But at the end of the day, passion, dedication, I'm having fun. I will continue to have fun. When it stops being fun, then I'll just stop doing it. Well, I don't know. Probably not.
It's in your blood.
It's in my blood.
Yeah.
It keeps pulling me back in.
Yes.
Well, thank you guys so much.
Thank
It
you,
was
Esmey.
such an
Thank you.
honor
I
and a
appreciate
pleasure
you.
to get to listen to you guys.
Awesome.
So much soul. And thank you so much for tuning into Local Indie Live. Again, today we were with the amazing Marshall Falcon and the Midnight Bazaar. Thank you guys so much.
En las calles de Pocho Loco, con familia y muchos amigos, sobreviví. En las calles de Pocho Loco, con familia y muchos amigos, sobreviví.